Hey guys, Elizabeth Quinn here again with Elizabeth's Scenes and Scents. Merry Christmas. Please don't forget to check out my website, which is waftingwonderfulwax.scentsy.us, where I am Liz Quinn, your lead Scentsy consultant. So today I have for you our Christmas edition, What I Have Been Warming, and I am going extremely festive. I made these wonderful little biscotti the other day. And we're going to be munching on that, drinking our coffee, enjoying all the scents that I've been getting through over the last week. And I want to put a bug in your ear that I have a couple things that came in ahead of schedule. I always film this video on a Monday, and I actually, as long as it cooperates with time, have the allowance, so to speak, to do a couple of other important things that came in the mail. Plus, I got this idea to do a video for catalog staples that I would recommend between Christmas Eve and New Year's. So all of those will be popping up in the next few days, and you're all just extra blessed that it all came in before I didn't want to film anymore, which was today, and I was going to give myself a break. So let's get moving. First off, I have what I think is the best combination that I did this whole week, although there are so many here. As far as a direct mix, now I've already talked about this pair of scents doing alternate warmers, but I got brave and I mixed them 1 cube to 1 cube in my Flirta room, and it was even better. So that would be this month's cinnamon pine cones, which I've been talking about, mixed with very snowy spruce. These two are a match made in heaven. They are so good together. So you could just do these all over the house in alternating warmers, and then some of them mix them directly, and it would smell absolutely perfect for Christmas, for any party or any family event that you have, or even just a movie night, as long as people can stand some cinnamon and some pine. So cinnamon pine cones all by itself is the most perfect mix of cinnamon and like a fir balsam or a Douglas fir and some pine cone earthiness. And it definitely has moments where it's got a strong cinnamon, and then it's got moments where it's a lot more mellow, and it just kind of goes throughout the melt. And I want you guys to see, I got out my all through the night warmer for you. So I think I'll turn this down a little today so that hopefully you can see it slightly better. I don't know if that helped, maybe not. We'll maybe go back up. It's a very difficult warmer to film, which is why I didn't put it out, but it is the most elaborate and beautiful thing, and I wanted to make it special for this last what I've been warming before Christmas. So then, very snowy spruce. This is a classic. This was a November scent of the month, I don't know, 5 years ago maybe now. And it's just so good. It's this sappy, sweet amber and pine cone. Again, they're very complimentary notes in here. And then spruce, fir, all that jazz in this. Those two bars together were phenomenal. So the next one was a more experimental mix that I did, and it was so good. So I am not super excited all by itself about Tinselberry. It scares me a little bit because it's strawberry and cranberry and cinnamon and spice. It is a very nice scent, but is it Christmassy? And it's also very, very strong. So if you really like this, you are good to go because you can just throw this in all your warmers. It will go for a couple of days and it's amazing. But for me, I wanted to mix it with the beautiful Wassail Wonderland, which is a favorite bar of mine. It's been around as a Scents of the Season staple for forever, and it's even still available in clearance as I speak. I checked it this morning. Oh, so I love this, which is orange and fir needle and the tiniest bit of spice, but you mix these two together and it chilled out that extreme strawberry in Tinselberry that for me is just not exactly Christmas, and these were amazing together. And on the same day, because I had that direct mixing in some warmers, I also threw in certain warmers some sweet orange pomander to amp up the cinnamon factor. It was so good, you guys. It was my most unexpected combination of smells. So there was spice and fruit all over the house, which isn't typically what I do for Christmas because I'm such a spice and woods-aholic. Oh, but this was so good. So if you happen to have all three of these, do yourself a favor if you want like a really fruity, happy holiday mix and work on those together. They were fantastic. Another day, I wanted that very special cinnamon that you get for Christmas and that deep, rich nut smell. So I did alternating warmers all throughout the house. None of these were mixed with each other. A beautiful cinnamon bear, which I haven't talked about much because I tend to save this one for January, so I'm not too burned out on it beforehand. I love cinnamon bear. and I'll start to cautiously melt it around Christmas. It will slide through New Year's, and then I'll melt it all during January. It is the most authentic, rich, deep, kind of red hot candy cinnamon, but it's not red hot like it hurts, for me anyway, to use it, whereas other companies, this type of a scent, even for me, and I love cinnamon and spice, it can give me a headache. This one never does. I love Cinnamon Bear. It's just classic, strong, smooth cinnamon. It's phenomenal. So I had in alternating warmers, I've only got 4 cubes left, guys, Central Park Pralines, which is one of the most beautiful scents that Scentsy's ever done when it comes to a nut smell. I don't even know if I've ever had this in my club. I'm sure at some point we'll see it and bring back my bar. I hope so. Let's vote it back. And then I would put this in my club for a while or stock up, because Central Park Pralines has the best beautiful roasted and caramel deep nut holiday smell that we've ever made. It's very good. And then to round it out, my favorite maple rum cake. So in the future, when I don't have any Central Park Pralines, I'll probably be using just the maple rum cake and the Cinnamon Bear and alternating warmers, and then it'll give me enough of that, and then hopefully we'll see another deep nut type smell, or I could probably even use caramel chestnut in with things that we get in the next coming couple years, or we'll see Central Park Pralines and bring back my bar. Maple rum cake is deep and it's just rich, and it went beautifully against that Cinnamon Bear. Oh, gorgeous. I was so happy with that. So then another day, this one happens to me today because I just don't really go in order, and these guys really match my getup, whoops, and my sweater. I hope you guys like my sweater. I saved, you can't really see all of it, I saved my favorite and most elaborate Christmas sweater for this video, and I've been plotting doing like a special arrangement. My daughter made the snowflakes, my older daughter. She is the master of paper craft art. So I want you to take a look, and there will be more pictures of some of these things on Instagram, because you can't see half of the snowflakes that are up on the wall, but is something I specifically asked her for. I didn't tell her what I was going to use them for. And then this morning I said, did you see what I did in the front room? I put your snowflakes on the channel. And she's like, okay, Mom, she's my older one, and she knows what she's doing with her life most of the time. Anyway, so back to this. We have our red berry and spruce and our sweet orange and evergreen. Oh, you guys, now this is like my kind of Christmas. The sweet orange and evergreen, you've heard me talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. It is the most perfect evergreen scent for me personally since he's ever made. It was our November scent of the month. Please try it if you like evergreen smells. Evergreen from Bath & Body Works smells different, but it's got the same kind of complex evergreen layers, and mistletoe from Yankee smells almost a dead ringer for this. I was actually in Frankenmuth the other day, and they have a very nice Yankee store, one of the few that's left in our area, and I went and grabbed mistletoe, and it smells a lot like that bar. And then the red berry and spruce, this would have to be in your club. This is such a good blue spruce and berries smell, and it's so Christmassy. It's got just that almost the sap and the astringent but sweet smell of blue spruce. It's so good. All right, so another day, and this was, if I had a fail, this was kind of my fail day, because everything was so soft, I couldn't smell it all that well. I love cinnamon roasted pear, which was ages ago a Harvest Trio scent. I got it in one of the bar bundles from Cyber Monday. It is so pretty in the clam. It's pears and smooth, gentle, roasted simmer spices. But it doesn't throw, and this was the problem that I had with it several years ago in that Harvest Trio. You can't smell it. So I've got 2 cubes left, which I'll probably use in my bedroom. It was very, very pretty, but the pear in that I wanted to put with cinnamon buttercream, which cinnamon buttercream is not a strong bar. This is the bar I smelled all day long in my house, so that tells you that the others were not performing real well. And cinnamon buttercream has really grown on me. It's gentle and very smooth with that mascarpone, a little bit of cake, and a little bit of bakery cinnamon. It's beautiful. And actually, if I was going to recommend a couple of bakery scents to pair with other stronger Christmassy smells, the cinnamon buttercream and sugar cookie would probably be my top 2 for what we offer right now. Then I did a lot of silver bells. I'm not sure exactly where this was going, because this one always holds its own. This is a good, beautiful medium scent. And I was doing this because it also has the pear. And I was trying to pair, P-A-I-R, not P-E-A-R. I hope I spelled that right. The pear that was in this to draw out the cinnamon roasted pears didn't really work. We just smelled beautiful silver bells, which is caramelized sugar and pear and mint. and it is the most amazing scent. I have to say, of all the smells from the catalog this season, my appreciation of Silver Bells has gone way up. I've always said that it was nice, but this year, my kids have always fought to put it in the club, but this year I will be clubbing it because Mama wants to club it. It's so good. All right, another day I wanted a truly frosty winter wonderland. What? Darn it. Hope y'all laughed. We were doing a trio of blue bars. The first one was the beautiful frosted vanilla, and I'm afraid this particular clamshell's not got the most oils in it. The first couple bars of this that I had were so strong and wonderfully smoky. This one I could kind of smell it wasn't the best. So I hope the next bar of that I melt is more consistent, or that will be a little bit of a disappointment. The next one was Olaf Warm Hugs, and honestly, I put that in this warmer, which for almost all of the melting season, this has been in my dining room. I can never smell Olaf. I smelled it in that warmer, which is a fabulous performer. If any of you have been fortunate enough to pick that up when it was available for like a day and a half before it sold out, it is a beast of a performer. It's fabulous. So, Olaf Warm Hugs is kind of like a body care frosty vanilla scent, very light, very elegant, and I did really enjoy this. It was good. First time ever I've smelled it enough to appreciate it. And then probably my favorite of the things that we were melting that day, some good old Polar Bear Hug, which I love Polar Bear Hug. It's just blackberry jam and musk and sugar crystals, and oh, you guys. This is another beautiful smell. I knew that I loved this. This and Silver Bells are like the frosty twins, the pair that you just gotta have. If you've not tried them, please do. And as classics continue to get the axe every season, I would club both of them if you love them as much as I do. All right, now, of course, my truly most heartstring pulling favorite combination of the week, which I will do again on Christmas Eve. My cozy fireside, which was wonderful, and I emptied a whole clam in the house and loved it all day. Oh, this warm, smoldery, huggy hearth goodness. It's not sharp like Spiced Ember Glow, which is even more hearth-like. This is just warmth and goodness. Oh, it was so good. And I think a whole clam of Christmas cottage. I don't think you can get any more perfect for this time of the year than this combination, because this has raspberry, clove, some other spices, and oranges, and this is probably our very best, most Christmassy catalog classic that we continue to produce. And I've heard through the grapevine it is like the best seller for Christmas, and I'm so glad, because I never want Christmas cottage to go away. Let me take a little coffee break here. How is everybody doing with we're almost to the finish line with Christmas checklists? I guess eating on camera was a bad idea. I've never really done that before. Anyway, we will just move on. My Christmas checklist personally, there's just a little bit of baking left to do. And then for Christmas Day, I want to make a lasagna from scratch. Christmas Eve, my mom always handles that, and it's this big fancy thing with a standing rib roast and all this. But our whole family's been ill for a couple of weeks. My folks, unfortunately, for longer. So I really want to take the load off and do something that I did it last year around Christmas time. I've never made the full-on, all the way from scratch Italian lasagna. It was the best thing, so I'm going to do that again for our family for Christmas Day. And I found this in Frankenmuth when we did go, the girls and my husband and I, a couple weeks ago for our annual Christmas trip up there, and it's just absolutely the cutest little cup, and it went with my display for today. So let's keep moving here. What else was I doing? Ooh, I did a day where I wanted to get a couple of the pine tree scents that I had been storing but not using out. One of them was Mighty Pine. Now, I have a fantastic customer who she never texts me and says that something was too much for her. This Mighty Pine blew her out of her house, and her house is rather large with tall ceilings, so it's strong. I love it. Oh, this was from last year's holiday trio. And it is your lavender, mountain air, and then really nice pine, and it's very crisp. I'll melt some more of this in January. It's fantastic. I've got a whole stack of it. So then I tried something which wasn't the best. I think part of the way through the day I took some of this out and put silver bells in instead. I tried pairing it with some Zeppelin, which is something that we had from Bring Back My Bar over the summer. And honestly, Zeppelin didn't perform for me over the summer. It overperformed against the Mighty Pine. It wasn't stronger, but there was enough that it kind of messed with the Mighty Pine. And this is like vetiver and very crisp, cool, masculine scent. So I thought it would go nice with the Mighty Pine. Wasn't the best. Moose, sit. If my dog barks, he thinks there's something outside. There's nothing. And then I used some ice pine in the front room to go with it because this is really hardcore pine with peppermint. And it was a wonderful, like, festival of trees kind of a day in here. It was great. I just think that the Zeppelin wasn't exactly the best choice. Later, I put silver bells in instead, and that was perfect. That went with everything. So I think that was everything that I was doing in the main spaces. I do have a few things that were Florida room specific because I'm not melting as much out there. So I did the last of this clam of whiteout. I had 4 cubes left. This is my favorite peppermint scent that Scentsy has ever produced. It's got golden delicious apple, I think a little bit of tree, and peppermint in a way where it's minty, but it doesn't have so much of a bite, like perfect peppermint, which for me, I know some of you probably love it and you rarely see it on my channel because it's just a bar that's too much for me, which is rare. But whiteout is phenomenal and I love it. And I walked in the Florida room, kept the doors closed, walked in the Florida room several times during the day just to enjoy it because I have maybe half a clam left, it's hiding somewhere, and that's it. So then also Swirling Snowflakes, I did several days. It was 2 or 3 days I think that this lasted in my Florida room. Phenomenal bar. I did end up putting this into my quarterly club, and that is really a shocker to me because I typically do not do the blue bars, but this is frosty with a little bit of eucalyptus flower and I don't know what else, but it's really nice and I want more of it for January, where I'll probably melt it out here. It holds its own and it's so good. If I had to choose between Swirling Snowflakes and Olaf, actually the Swirling Snowflakes for me would win out. And then today I'm doing Season of Magic out there and it's so good. This is the happiest scent. It's like fake 80s Christmas tree, like the car freshener, and sweet berries and lots of sugar. And it's just such a happy, happy cartoony smell. So this is definitely a favorite of mine from Disney. And yesterday I had whatever I had going yesterday. Halfway through the day, I'm like, you know what? I'm getting another scent craving. I want some icicles and evergreen. And I have to say, this is the smell that has surprised me the most this year as far as I didn't used to like it. And it's grown on me a lot. So I went to my brick of icicles and evergreen because there's a lot here even for me now that I'm being won over to it. This particular brick is so rich with the oils. It's almost too oily. It's very hard to get the pieces out, but man, it smells incredible. And maybe that is why I have fallen in love with it, because there's extra oil in this bar, it seems, and it just makes the most beautiful, rich sugar crystals. I know there's eucalyptus, there's pine boughs, and like apple, and maybe even a little bit of peach if I remember the scent pyramid from a couple years ago correctly. This is, I'd say, my most improved for the season, and I have really grown to enjoy it very much. So then, what was I doing in my basement? On Saturday, I just wanted, after talking to you guys about my best of 2022, I wanted the maple vanilla glaze from our holiday trio, and because I did the bundles of bakery from the Cyber Monday sale, I was able to use some breakfast in bed, which before those 2 bars from Cyber Monday, I was almost completely out of, with my maple vanilla glaze. You guys, it was so yummy and it was perfect. It was sort of like a little break from everything being holiday specific, but it went with all of the bakery because I was doing the maple rum cake and the cinnamon bear upstairs. It was so good. So the breakfast in bed is a pumpkin pastry filled with like a raspberry filling and then a little drizzle of cinnamon glaze. It's such a wonderful bar. I should have clubbed this. It's one of my few regrets of something that kind of slipped through the cracks on me. Very, very good. And then pairing that with the maple vanilla glaze, it was just like the perfect, like you'd walked into the best baked goods place in town. Absolutely phenomenal, because your maple vanilla glaze is just maple vanilla bakery on steroids. It's amazing. So that was the first thing. A couple other things that I was doing. The day that I was trying my Wassail Wonderland Tinselberry thing, I did what is this one? The mulled cider and spice all through the basement. Oh, was it good? This was also last year holiday trio. And I love it. It's like an overdone, very dramatic fruit punch. Kind of like you took not cedar cider, kind of like you took cider mill and you dressed it up for the holidays and you like went way overboard. Absolutely phenomenal scent for me. It's so happy. I think that it's got maybe blood orange and then simmer spices, and it's sweet and it's really in your face. It was perfect for me. All right, now this is not Scentsy. This is Yankee. I finished up, this was new last year, Evergreen Mist in a clam set of these downstairs. And this is just like a really smooth, kind of like foggy evergreen scent. Scentsy does not make certain things that I do prefer from Yankee. And this one was just so nice, and it was just relaxing in the basement for a whole day. I loved it. And this is not a good day for my clamshells. Here is another extreme surprise for me, a good surprise, and that is spiced apple chestnut, which I have done nothing but complain about. I don't know if they changed the formula a little bit from when they first released it till now. This bar does not have that nasty edge that the two that came in my kit, not this year, but the year before for Scents of the Season. It doesn't have it. This bar is mellow and sweet and roasty toasty with chestnuts and apples, just like I wanted it to be. So I've been mixing it in my basement with caramel chestnut. It's so good that today I have to place my bring back my bar order, and there is still there's still spiced apple chestnut in clearance. I think I'm gonna get a couple more, so next year I can mix these again. Who knew? So I've also noticed that Toasted Acorn and Oak, my latest bar of that, is also smoother. And both Toasted Acorn and Oak and Spiced Apple Chestnut came out in the same season, different collections. And I noticed this note. Toasted Acorn and Oak wasn't so bad, I got over that. But this note in both of them I just did not love. And they're both missing it now, which makes me very, very happy. So I'm hoping they tweak the formulas, and I think I'm going to get more of that for next year. So that's amazing. Now, in my bedroom, I was doing a lot of melting. I'm not sure if it was to make up for the week before because I was just too stressed the week before and didn't have time to change wax. I've been home all week because my husband and both of my kids came down with something that was pretty nasty, and we needed to just not do anything for days. So I had lots of time to change wax. So I decided to do some more comparisons of the buttercream collection, which honestly, either basement or bedroom, I appreciate them. Other than that, they do nothing for me, with other things that people have been saying you could mix. So to start with, I will share that I did break out Perfect Peppermint, which is just straight up sharp Christmas peppermint, with Simply Vanilla. Now I could have done it with Sugar Cookie, but I really wanted to try it with Simply Vanilla. I mixed these 1 cube to 1 cube. Actually, for my bedroom, I did half cubes, I think, and then put half a cube in my different warmers. This made an almost medicinal peppermint vanilla scent. If you like Peppermint Rush, you'll love this. I don't like Peppermint Rush. That's coming for Bring Back My Bar in January. This was just okay for me. So this was nice and strong, though, if you like that kind of a combination. The next day, I evaluated the Candy Cane Buttercream, which I like much better, but I'm not going to club this because even though I like it, I don't love it. So I have, actually it's sitting right here, it's going to be, I think, my next video. I have 3 of these coming in my special Christmas haul Scentsy Club, which this is not something I carry all the time, I just did a monthly and then I canceled it. So I have more of this that I will be stocking up on for next year. I like it very much. I just don't think it performs well enough to have room in my club. But I think the one in the long run, even though I love caramel buttercream, the one that performs the best and is the most unique, which means at least for a while I will carry it in my club, is the Gingerbread Buttercream. Now, I know you've seen me kind of waffle on my opinion on this since these came out. This particular bar of Gingerbread Buttercream really did have enough scent that I was impressed. I loved it in my bedroom. And like I said, it's more unique than the others. So the gingerbread buttercream won the buttercream war for staying in my club. I do have one bar of this. I don't remember whether I put it bi-monthly or quarterly. But that will actually be there at least for a period of time in my club, and it is my favorite of our Scenspirations collection. So then I had 2 cubes left of Be Merry because I'd melted it in the out here a couple weeks ago. I put this in my bedroom. I thought it was going to be too strong. It was so good. Be Merry is just one of those smells that embodies Christmas emotions. It's got pine, it's got cassis, it's got holly leaf, it's got probably holly berries. It's amazing. And I just enjoyed this so much in my room. So I usually wouldn't recommend a stronger, what I would consider to be like a family room scent, but try this in your bedroom. It was phenomenal. And then last but not least, I dug out a lot of snow-kissed cranberry. I loaded up my warmers in my bedroom because this is not a very strong smell. It's the first and only time I've smelled all the layers of snow-kissed cranberry. I've still got a few more bars because it's a retired scent that I did love. And it was so good in my room, and it was the best authentic cranberry scent I've ever smelled from Scentsy. I don't know if after it's been curing for, 3 years now, a lot of the body care part was kind of more gone, and I got the best cranberry, almost like cranberry juice cocktail out of this, and it was lovely. So, I think that's pretty much everything. I do have 2 other Yankee scents that my kids were doing. Holiday Zest is pretty good, and my younger daughter was doing this in her room. So that's just kind of a smoky orange zest thing. Like if I had to compare that to my Sweet Orange Pomander wins hands down, but that's very holiday. And then my older daughter was doing a little bit of this new white spruce and grapefruit, and honestly, I did not stick my nose in there while it was melting. It's very sharp. I think I'll be melting this in January because it's almost like the pith and the juice in a ruby red grapefruit, and it's got this little bit of tree in the background, and it's really interesting. So those are usually, I think, currently available at Yankee stores right now, and I do like that formula. If I'm going to go with a different company, those work pretty well in the Scentsy warmers. Now, if you use another company's wax, it voids your warranty on your warmers, so do know that. But I don't use it except at Christmas time, and I'm really careful with my dishes because other companies' wax is much more solid. So you would tend to possibly break a dish more easily if you remove your wax cold, which I do. So that is everything for me. Merry Christmas, everyone. Like I said, I'm going to be working on a couple more videos today. I hope that you have the most wonderful, precious Christmas to New Year's season with your family. My next What I Have Been Warming video will be the first full week of January. I'll be taking a break between Christmas and New Year's. The only video that will probably go up that week that I didn't pre-record, and I don't even know when those are going to go up, I have to choose, would be Bring Back My Bar if I get it in time. I will absolutely get that up as soon as I can. So God bless. Merry Christmas. Have an amazing holiday season, guys. God bless.